Do you see the guy on screen? I think he is me. We talked about Floki and TokenFi probably like 6, 7, 8 times on this channel over the past 2 months, and here are more updates. Look at all the different tabs that I have opened so I can show you what they have been up to in the last 2 weeks. Short introduction. What is TokenFi? The rich people that have trillions of dollars in their hedge funds believe that by 2030, real world assets are being tokenized into magic internet world. So there are certain projects in that narrative that position themselves early to make that happen. TokenFi does that. TokenFi is on the same core team as Floki. So when you see the dog with the Viking hat over here, that is the same team behind it. And they have been doing a whole bunch of things when it gets to not just working on the projects, but also moving forward in the industry, getting listed on different exchanges and making it available around the world. They've been doing a lot of stuff. And one of the things they've done recently is that the DAO behind it, which is the same as the Floki DAO, they voted on things. Sometimes they vote on should we burn a certain circulating supply, and then they burn like 2% of the entire circulating supply and take like $30 million, light it on fire, and it goes away. So everybody else is happy as the token is more valuable. And sometimes with about 100% of voters, they voted for implementing a supercharger program. Which means if you have token and you stake it on the website, you get the majority of available allocation in select token sale events going forward. Which means based on how many tokens you hold, you get certain voting rights and weight in here. And pretty much everybody said, okay, this is a good idea. You as a holder benefit even more from this, why not? For that you gotta stake the token. If you would like to stake the token, they have some pretty good deals. If you go up to 4 years, if you want to go like super long term on Ether BNB, you get up to 53%, which is quite a lot, but you even get 16.8% for a 3-month period. And if you look at the entire market cap of TokenFi, it's 120 mil. More than half of that is staked. So people that have the token do believe in this long term. Which reminds me, I got the token and I didn't stake it yet. Which means top right corner, click on Connect Wallet, select Get Started. I have this amount, roughly $3,000. That is the amount. Click on Next, how long you would like to stake. We could just go for 1 year if we think the bull run goes for a year anyways. I personally would just go with 3 months and then reevaluate how things are. But 21% in a year is pretty good. Let's just go with it, see how it goes. Click on Next. That's our amount. 1 year, we get 21.36%. Hit confirm. You'll get the confirmation in MetaMask. Next and approve. Hit confirm and then you're all good. Why do I do it? Well, personally, based on what I've seen so far, and this number right there, they seem to do quite well and know what they do. Plus, that also means me in the future is gonna be quite happy. Getting back to the supercharger program though, this will be activated on Monday, April 22nd. For me, it's the 21st when I record this on a Sunday. So pretty much by tomorrow, as a staker myself, I now get access to the majority of available allocation in select token sale events going forward. Think of this like a launchpad and you get tokens early, which then usually means you can buy it for pennies on the dollar. Now that also means that the launchpad is live, obviously, on the mainnet of 6 top EVM blockchains, so on ETH-based BNB, Optimum BNB, and then lastly Blast, which we covered recently with the ZAP notes on here. They also went live on Arbitrum last week, and the first project that did a token sale with a launchpad sold out within 10 minutes. Not bad, not bad. So they invite project owners to come into the token sale events IDO on their launchpad, backed by the Floki brand and community, secured and audited by CertiK, poised to be the industry's biggest launchpad in the near future. When we talk about some videos like Soulcraft 9 days ago, 10 days ago, whenever you see this, those smaller projects, they all launch on Pink Sale. But Pink Sale is kind of like everybody can go in there. If there are some requirements and some vetting involved and security is being checked as well on TokenFi's Launchpad, then clicking on any of the projects up here like QLife for example could go well. What is also pretty big, I mentioned in the last video I made, is that some categories on CoinMarketCap pretty much print money simply by including tokens in there. Last video's example was in the gaming category. There was one project called GameSwap. This is completely dead and worth 9 million simply because it's in the category. They haven't been active in a year. This project doesn't do anything, but because it says game in the name and it's in the gaming category, it went up to $16 million at the peak. If you look for TokenFi, you will see number 15 right now. The TokenFi Launchpad is a category over here, in which so far we have Floki and TokenFi, of course, as well as Mars Battle, which is from Mars for Me, a project that we also covered about a month ago over here. The Web3 game on Mars. They know their sale for the Shoot token, and they sold out pretty much immediately and then had a second round to happen soon after just to match demand. They reached their hard cap target of $250,000 in 4 days before the deadline and now launched around number 2, which is a pretty big thing considering that this is one of the first, if not the first token that launched on their launchpad. When we talked about Portfolio Master, the private community that I'm a part of, they focused on anything that has to do with RWA and tokenization about a year ago and they all did a 10x on any project they went into. And this is only the start of this whole thing, which means moving forward, with this only guide that we need for real estate tokenization, they're already betting big on something that we don't really see yet. In this case, they say it's like crowdfunding for property, where they say this can reach a value of about 5 trillion in the next 6 years, which could be, the future isn't here yet. And that, in an ideal world, would just be tokenized. So I can say, hey, you have land, I have 1 Bitcoin, want to trade? Sure, here you go. Everything is recorded on the blockchain, you can make it an NFT, print it out, put it on the wall, and it would skip all the paperwork. Awesome, random idea that just came to mind. The moment AI takes over, Skynet is developed, and the machines control us, right? Do you think the machines are gonna do paperwork? No. No, they're not. So anything that has to do with paperwork is probably going to get replaced. And this might be the replacement. With a perfect example being, imagine an apartment building is valued at 2 mil, owner wants to raise capital for renovations, and they decide to tokenize the building, in which they fractionalize that whole thing into 2,000 shares. Each token is priced at $1,000, which can then be bought by more people. Plus, if you would say you sell a $2 million thing, instead of investing in a crypto token, and this $2 million apartment makes you like $8,000 a month, then depending on your share, you get this passive income paid out to you as you own a fraction of that apartment. And I would assume if you have 51%, you can probably live in that. And with the DAO behind that, you could have 2,000 people voting on the guy living in there if he's allowed to stay, if he should raise the rent. It could work, but we will see what the future actually has in store for that. Also, don't forget, when the big people that have all the money and print it say, this is good, we will do it, I don't think we can stop it, so might as well join them. And that's kind of similar to what TokenFi does, as in the $1 trillion hedge funds, they just say, okay, here's $1 trillion, make it happen. And then TokenFi, for example, has a project that works directly, hand in hand, and makes us happy every single day that we staked our tokens. Awesome, they have now been listed on Bitfinex, and also got featured on Arabian Business, a tier 1 magazine in the UAE. We can think again, if one Saudi Arabian oil sheik says, hey, I'm insanely rich, I want to have part of this, let's make it happen. Dubai is kind of like the city of the future. I would say Shanghai, China as well, Singapore. I wouldn't be surprised if they implement something like this fairly soon, and then the rest of the world eventually has to follow. All I can say so far, from looking at both TokenFi and Floki over the past like 3-4 months, as well as being invested in both with my own money, I'm quite happy on what the team does. And the graph, you know, it starts here and then it goes there, and then you have more money. So simply from a buy and sell perspective, they're also doing a whole bunch of good things, but as you've seen earlier in the video, I bet on this long term. If you want to as well, or not, links to everything in the description down below. Not financial advice. Generally, you can do whatever you like. Grab a note, get some passive income, links down below. And tell me your favorite color, because if it's orange, I might just like you a little bit more. Until next time, take care.